Hey guys, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what I was going through last night. So, generally, I have depression or loneliness, feelings like that. I I don't have anger generally, but last night I did. I was quite frustrated that God had allowed this to come into my life when I saw myself as being such a stellar person beforehand, and now I see myself as broken, as less than what I was. And that is thinking that we all have, but it's incorrect. We're not less than we were before God. God's love for us never changes. And when you're in those moments, those periods of time, it can be really helpful actually to listen to music that is that is sad, that's gonna help you get those frustrations out. So, for me, I like to listen to, there's an artist out there, and I relate with almost everything he does. His title is NF, and I really enjoy listening to his music. I really relate to what he's been through and how he's dealing with that. He's a Christian, and he doesn't curse in his music, which is I think amazing, um, because he's had such a rocky road with his parents divorcing, and his mom overdosing on pills, and his feelings of neglect from that. I think it's very much a hard story to get into, but I feel a good story that I can relate to. And one other thing that helps me to mourn is to look at old pictures of myself before the brain surgery, and to watch old videos of myself. Now, I used to do that and wondered why the heck I was doing that when that made me sad. But for some reason, I found a comfort in watching those videos and looking at those old pictures of me. And I wondered, why do I enjoy doing that? And it came to me, I realized it, and I thought, you know, that seeing that, hearing that music, seeing those pictures and those videos, those help me to mourn. I'm I I mourn for that time, and that's good for us. I brought to you guys the passage in Ecclesiastes where Solomon says there is a time for mourning, but we need to remember that the what Solomon is talking about is there is a time for that. That shouldn't be your life. That shouldn't be any of our lives if we have the joy and the hope of Christ in us. Our our joy is not found in our circumstances, but if we don't mourn, it's like anxiety and worry. If we don't, and anger, if we don't express those feelings of, this exam really has me stressed. I'm really aggravated at this person for not making something right, for doing something wrong. It's aggravating, and we need to express those feelings, because if we don't express those feelings, we bottle them up and then they end up eating us and destroying us from the inside. So if you have feelings of sorrow, of sadness, of depression, you need to get those out. And I encourage you to find whatever you can. If it's a sad movie, sad songs, sad books, whatever you can to get those out. But still remember though, that is not where you want to stay. I'm reading a book right now. It's called Love Does by Bob Goff. And that book really lifts my spirits. It's an incredible book. The author has some incredible stories. I highly encourage you to read it. And it's about Jesus, who I love. So there's a negative side to things, that sorrow, that hurt, that anger, that depression. And those are feelings that we feel, but we just can't stay there. That's our what is being told to us. And I really enjoy Christian music. I listen to I love there's a song out there, and if you've never heard this, I encourage you highly to go listen to it. It's called Even If by Mercy Me. Uh, One of the lines in that song says, I know the sorrow and I know the hurt would all go away if you just say the word. But even if you don't, my hope is you alone. That needs to be the motto of your life. Even though it's hard right now, even though there's sorrow in our lives, even though that anger, that depression is there, it's real. We need to get that out. There's also a time for laughter. There's a time for dancing. We're not meant to stay in that depression. And if you're feeling that depression, reach out to someone else. We were not created to be isolated beings. God created man to have that brotherhood, that communication with one another. We're not solitary creatures. We're meant to be in that community. So if you're going through a struggle and a hurt, reach out to someone else and just tell them what's on your heart, what's on your mind, how you're feeling. And if you like, for me, I go to therapy, and about once a week, and I just sit there and I just talk. I'm sure the therapist is tired of listening to me just yammer on for 45 minutes, but I it's good for me. I like to sit there and just talk about my days, what's been going on in my life, what I'm going through, how it's affected me. And my therapist, he doesn't talk so much. He really just allows me to talk, and I end up finding out things on my own, which is, one of the best things for us is, my mom was talking about this, is self revelation. When we discover things for ourselves. So if you need to communicate with someone, you need to express those feelings that you're having, those deep down, those dark feelings of gloom and sadness. We need to express that. We shouldn't keep that bottled up. So if you're having feelings of that, I highly encourage you to go and talk to someone and get those feelings out.